Kia ora, welcome. My name is Caroline. This will be about a 20-minute practice that's focused on grounding, on helping us to feel more present in our bodies. I think at moments when anxiety and uncertainty is high, we can become frazzled and a bit spacey, a bit unsettled, and disconnected from our bodies. So this is a practice about bringing us into our bodies, back down into our bodies, out of our crazy thinking minds and into our feeling grounded bodies. Kind of giving us a way to feel more present in our moment-to-moment, day-to-day lives. So we'll start in a comfortable seat. Just find a comfortable way to sit. That may be on the floor as I am, cross-legged, or with your legs in front of you. You might prefer to be on a chair or a couch, and that's fine. For this initial part of the practice, it doesn't matter how you land, and if you'd rather lie down, you can certainly lie down as well. So just take a moment to settle yourself into your seat. Maybe orienting a little bit to the space that you're in, let your eyes move around. And as your eyes move around, you might let your head move at the same time, and you're not really focusing on anything, but rather just kind of taking in the colors and the shapes of the space that you're in. And sometimes just that action can help us to feel more settled. You might notice that you've just taken a deeper breath, arriving and being a bit more present. And then taking your attention to all of the places where you're in contact with the earth. And just notice that. Notice the texture of what you're sitting on, the way your feet are resting on the ground, maybe the socks that you're wearing, or the carpet, or whatever's underneath you, the temperature. Noticing the heaviness or the lightness that you feel, a sense of solidness or softness. What do you notice about the way that you are situated on the ground? Good. And then just letting your attention shift from there up and into your body. And ask yourself the simple question, how am I? Just getting quiet for a moment to allow an answer to come up. And maybe there are a few answers. Maybe you're uncomfortable. Maybe there's some physical discomfort in your body. Notice that. Maybe you're hungry. Maybe you're bored, frustrated. Whatever you encounter when you ask that question, see if you can locate it in your body. So if, for example, boredom is what comes up for you, how do you know that from your body? So keeping it down in our bodies, not getting into the story about why we're bored. How do you know in your body that you're bored, for example? And then noticing your next inhalation. As you breathe in, notice that breath come in. And as you breathe out, simply notice that breath go out. And we're just going to get a little bit more deliberate with the next breath in, filling up a little bit more with your next breath in, pausing at the top, and then slowly letting that breath go. And you can breathe through your nose or your mouth, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And again, full breath in, holding on to that breath for a moment at the top, and then a nice long breath out. Let's do that one more time. Filling up to your capacity on your inhalation. Holding on to that breath at the top. And then just letting that breath go. Good. So we're going to move into some gentle movement now. We're going to start with a twist by bringing the left hand onto the ground. So if you are lying down, I'll invite you to sit up now. And we're going to bring the left hand onto the ground behind us, just gently pushing down into the ground. And if you can, as you push down, as we ground, as we find ourselves being solid and supported by the earth, we are sometimes able to lift up in response to that. It's like we're rebounding. So pushing down with that left hand, push down with what you can feel on the floor, your seat, your feet. See if that creates a natural rebound in your body. And then take the right arm across and just gently begin to twist. Now I'm sitting cross-legged because that's comfortable for me. You can be knees bent, you could have your legs straight out in front of you. From your twist, using that breath again. So full breath in, hold on to it for a moment, and then let it go. Untwist, come back through to the center, and simply take that over the other way. So the right hand comes behind you, pushing down with what is on the ground. See if you rebound. If not, maybe you can take the top of your head and just lift it up a bit. Crossing that left arm over, and we twist. I'm just pausing here in your twist, noticing how that's feeling. And then one more breath here where we fill up on that inhale, holding the breath at the top. And then let that breath go. Good. Coming back to the center, let's just take our shoulders in some circles. So your hands will be touching your own legs or maybe the floor if that feels a bit more comfortable. But rounding and circling the shoulders a few times, just loosening up any kinks or any stiffness through the shoulders. Let's take those circles the other way. So letting your shoulders just find a movement that feels natural. Good. And then just settling the shoulders down slightly away from your ears. And we'll do the same with the neck. So any free movement here that would help you to feel maybe a little bit freer in your neck. You might be dropping the chin, you might be rolling your head from side to side. Maybe it's a big circle. Taking another full breath as we work to release tension through the neck. Good. And then we'll take the head back to center, bringing the chin right up to the middle. We're going to hold on to the legs now and move our spine through a cat and cow movement. As we inhale, we're holding onto the legs to pull ourselves nice and tall. You might even draw your shoulders back and lift up through your chest and chin. And as you exhale, you're going to round the back. Let your shoulders come forward and your chin drop in towards your chest. Moving like that with your breath. This could be a real small, subtle movement, or it could be a bigger movement of your spine, whatever feels right to you. Continuing to return from time to time to that sense of being supported by the ground, the solidness underneath you, of trusting that the earth can hold us and support us. Good. One more time, moving through those two shapes. And we'll pull back up and through to center. So we'll shift ourselves now off of our seat and come to our hands and our knees. So into a tabletop position. We're just taking the wrists so that they're resting under the shoulders more or less. And if you do have some difficulty here, there's some pain in the wrists, you could do this on your fists, or you could come down onto your elbows. So just ensuring that you're not creating discomfort in the way that you place yourself. There's always another way to do it. Good. So again here, pushing down into the earth with whatever is touching. That may be your hands, elbows, your knees, your shins, and the tops of your feet. So you're grounding here, and as we ground, we may be able to lift up a little bit. From grounding down, sometimes we can again rebound up into the body. You might notice pushing down creates a slight lift, and if it doesn't, maybe you can create that lift yourself by just gently hugging in your navel towards your spine. Good. We're going to extend the right leg back behind us. And just gently push out through that heel, so that maybe a bit of effort into the hands to push out through that heel, keeping the hands grounded, keeping that foot on the ground as you push out. Good. And then rocking forward so that the shoulders come over top of the wrists or the elbows. We'll lift that foot up and off the ground. Extending back through your heel. And if you'd like to add to that, you could reach your left arm forward. Continuing to push into the ground with what's on the ground as we take one more breath here. Good. We'll bring the hand and knee back down to the floor, extending the left leg back behind you. We create a bit of a traction here as we push back through that left heel. Noticing how that feels, and then allow your weight to travel forward again, strong at your center as you take that foot up off the ground. Maybe pushing out through that heel, and if you'd like, you could add the extension of the opposite arm. Push into the floor with what's on the floor, gentle lift through your center. Notice your breath come in and go out. Releasing the hand, releasing the knee. We're going to take the knees a little bit wider here, keeping the feet towards each other as we sit our hips back towards our heels, bringing the head down towards the ground. Now your head might not come to the ground, and that's fine. You could stack up your hands or add a pillow there for your head to rest on. We're pausing here in child's pose for about 3 or 4 cycles of breath. So just notice how it feels from this shape now to be supported by the earth, noticing the texture of what it is you're resting on, noticing your weight, and perhaps your weight can drop even a little bit more on your next exhalation into that support of the ground. Good. We're going to lift back up from there, coming up into your tabletop position again. We're going to extend now the left leg back behind us, pushing out just gently through that heel, and then rocking the weight forward slightly. We're going to slide the right foot off of our yoga mat, turn to the inner edge of your left foot, and then lift the left arm, sort of peeling it up towards the ceiling. So here you could stay, or you might reach that arm over your head, pushing into the earth with everything that's touching down. One more big full breath in and out. Spinning that around, coming back to all fours, extending back through the right leg. Just gently pushing for a moment through that heel. Then releasing that. We're sliding the left foot off the mat to the left, rolling to the inner edge of the right foot, and then peeling the right arm up towards the ceiling or over your head, pushing into the earth with whatever is touching down, opening up through your side body here, creating a bit of space there. One more breath. And then we'll spin that back around, back into that tabletop position. Good. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under and push the hips back towards the heels. Just noticing any sensation there through the feet, kind of waking up the muscles in the feet, the soles of the feet and the toes. Maybe you don't feel enough there and you're walking your hands back. You could even sit right back on your heels. Taking another moment here. Full breath in. Like we did before, holding the breath for a moment at the top. And then let that breath go. Good. We're going to bring the hands back down onto the ground. Untuck the toes. Just tap out the tops of your feet, releasing that. Good. Let's tuck the toes again. This time we're pushing the hips back towards the heels, but we're going to take the knees up off the ground to come into our downward dog. Now, if that feels a bit strong, you can always keep the knees down and push back from there. Otherwise, bit of a bend in your knees as you push into your hands, grounded through each and every finger, grounded through the balls of your feet, and then maybe a little bit of movement through your knees. You could paddle the knees a few times here, side to side. You could shake out any tension in your neck. And it's also a great time to check in with your jaw. Sometimes we clench our jaw when we're feeling a bit frazzled or overwhelmed. So if that's the case for you, maybe in your downward dog, you're wiggling the hinges of your jaw around to unclench, to release that. Good. And we're going to drop the knees down onto the ground and just slide the hands back towards the knees and lift ourselves up to come up onto the knees. We're going to step the right foot forward from there, bringing both hands onto that front knee. Good. Pushing down into the knee just as you push down into that front foot. So as you ground, maybe you can lift, pushing down into the back knee, the back foot, the back shin. As we push down, can we rebound up? So the upper body lifts a little bit, almost like your ribs are lifting up away from your pelvis. And then from there, we're going to lean into that front knee, but not collapsing, not sort of allowing the chest to fall forward, maintaining that lift, that sense of being supported. And from that support, we have strength. We can lift up. One more breath here. Good. We're going to keep the right hand as it is, reaching the left arm up. Full breath in. And then we're taking that arm over into a side stretch as we breathe out. Now you could be resting your forearm on your thigh, or you could take your hand over and onto your right hip. One more breath. We're going to come out of that, releasing, bringing the right knee back next to the left, and we'll step the left foot forward. Starting by stacking the hands on that front thigh or knee. Push down into your left foot. Push into your back knee, your back shin, your back foot. Push your hands against your leg. And then maybe from all of that grounding, we can lift up a little bit. Have a full breath in. Maybe even hold it for a moment. And as you breathe out, gently lunging into your front knee. Doesn't have to be far. Maybe you start to feel a stretch somewhere in your body. Notice that stretch. Notice what you're feeling in your body, what sensations come up. If there's any pain, please move away from that pain. If you're uncomfortable, asking yourself, can I be uncomfortable right now? Knowing that when I come out of this shape, that discomfort will soften. Let's take the right arm up into the air. Inhale. And as we exhale, leaning over to our left, either keeping the forearm there on the thigh or hand to waist. Good. One more moment here. And then we release that, taking the front knee back so the knees are again next to each other. From here, reaching up through both arms. Full breath in, bringing the hands down in front of the chest as we breathe out. Pausing here, allowing your thumbs to rest the center of your chest. Let's take the breath and lift the thumbs up. And exhale and release that. Let the arms come down at your sides. And again, circling the arms around. Inhale, joining the hands together as you exhale, bringing your hands down to the center of your chest. Thumbs resting on your chest. For your next inhale, we're going to lift the thumbs up. The chest lifts up. Exhale, release the arms down. Interlacing the fingers. We're going to take the hands to the back of the head, supporting the base of our skull with our interlaced hands. On your next inhale, we're going to open the elbows out, lift up a bit through your chest. And as you exhale, hug the elbows in, let your chin drop in. And again, inhale, open up, lift the chest, exhale and round. And one more time. Lifting and opening on the inhale and rounding, stretching the back body as you exhale. Good. Inhale, coming up from there and releasing the hands down. Exhale, we're going to come down onto the floor to sit, extending the legs out in front of us. We're going to flex the toes back here initially, so we're grounded through our seat, maybe the backs of our legs, our heels, and then placing the hands down onto the ground next to the hips or slightly behind you, pushing down into your hands. So again, we look for that sense of support underneath us that we can lift up gently from. From there, let's drop the chin to the chest. And if you can feel a stretch here, that's a perfect place to stay. If not, maybe you start to lean forward a bit. Now, we're not trying to get anywhere here. You might lean forward a teeny bit and you sense that's enough. Let your body decide. And we'll just take one more breath. Just gently roll yourself up from there. Good. Bending now through both of your knees. We're going to take the hands slightly behind, push up with the lift up with the chest, draw back with the shoulders. If it doesn't bother your neck, lift up through your chin, full breath in, holding that breath at the top. As you exhale, releasing the arms to wrap around your own shins, let your chin drop down. Spending a moment there, almost giving yourself a self-hug here, hugging your legs in, allowing your body to rest on itself. Good. And just gently releasing that, coming back into a comfortable seat. We'll finish with just a short breathing practice. So this is one that you can use anytime. Just helps us to maybe kind of switch off from an overactive nervous system to sort of regulate ourselves down a bit. So what we're going to do is count our inhalation and see if we can make the exhalation just slightly longer. And we're just going to do that for 5 cycles of breath. For example, if you inhale and count to 4, you're going to exhale to either 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever works for you. So I'll leave you to do that on your own. I'll count the first one just so you understand what I'm doing. So I'm going to inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a slight pause. And then I'm going to exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, repeating that 4 more times. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 more rounds. Take it at your own pace, counting that breath in, whatever number you've gotten to see about making the exhale slightly longer. It doesn't have to be a huge difference, just extending that out breath a little bit longer than the inhale. Good. Finishing off that next cycle. And if it resonates for you, taking one hand onto your belly, one hand onto your chest. Allow your eyes to soften, your attention to rest at those places where your hands are touching your body. Notice that sense of being present with your body in this moment. One more breath here. Allowing your hands to release. Taking a moment to acknowledge that you've given yourself this time for yourself, for self-care. Tell yourself thank you. And I will say thank you for joining me today. Take care.